Very well, so we have a list of questions here. Now we've wrapped it inside of a data or exception class there, which is really good. So now let's go ahead and get the questions, right? So I'm going to say suspend again, suspend function. I'm going to say get all questions. And what type are we expecting here? Right, we're expecting data or exception type, and we're going to pass, of course, an array list containing our question items, such, but also we want to pass, you can see it even gives us the, you can see here, it even gives us the guide. What else can we pass? Boolean. The Boolean is going to just be a Boolean for now. And then the exception here is going to be exception. So essentially what we had over there. All right. Inside here, I'm going to just put inside of a try and catch because things could go wrong, as we know, right? So in this case, for our catch here, I'm going to pass yes. I'm going to say exception. To say if something happens, I'm going to pass an exception like this. All right. So what do we do inside of our try block here? Well, first of all, look at how wonderful this is. This is why we went through the trouble of doing what we did, which was to create this data or exception wrapper. Look, I can now say this. I can say data. Remember, we have here, I call it list of questions. In fact, let me change this to, because it makes no sense to call list of questions, because now the list of questions is actually inside of this data or exception. So let's just call this data or exception like this. Okay, that's better. Now I can say data or exception, and I'm going to say dot loading. Look at this, because it's a Boolean type. I can set it to something. I'm going to set it to true, because I'm saying now if at some point, because I'm saying now in this wrapper that I've added, I'm adding here the Boolean. I'm going to set it to true. That way, whenever somebody calls this get all questions and they expecting, yes, they're expecting this type here, data or exception, that means then we can check to say if data exception, that loading is true, that means it's loading, then I can let the user know that things are happening, just wait for a second, by putting a little loader and so forth, right, in the user interface. You see the power now? Otherwise, if we hadn't done this, we would have a little bit of trouble to make this to work. We would have to create probably two classes that encapsulate the loading and also the data and exception and so forth. But now we have put all of that information in one data or exception class. Wonderful. So now I set it to true, saying it's loading, and then I'm going to say data or exception again. Now I'm going to go to the data. Look at how wonderful it is. If I go to the variable or property data of our data exception, so I'm now back to here, the first item, the T, right, template, which is in this case is array list of questions. Look at this. It says it's array list of questions. That is the type that is expecting, and it's nullable because sometimes it could be null. Wonderful. So for our data, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to say API, the question API, the DAO, data access object really, and I'm going to invoke the get all questions. Because now if you have over this get all questions, you'll see it's from our question API, and get all questions, it just return a question object. And if you go back, if you look at our question object, you will see what it is. So I'm going to say command A, question like this. You see, it is indeed an array list of question items, which works here because that's what this expects to receive. Okay, very good. Now I can also say if, look at this, data or exception, right? Our Raptor, data or exception, wrapper there. If data.toString, I can check if it's not empty, then data exception dot loading. I'm going to change this state. Look at this to false to say, okay, it's not empty. That means we've gotten something. So we're going to change the loading, the Boolean, this Boolean here from our data or exception wrapper to false. That way, again, whoever is consuming this data, we can check to say, okay, what is the state of loading at this point? Oh, it's false. Great. So we can stop whatever we're showing the user that things were loading, a spinner, or whatever it is that we're adding to show the user that something is happening in the back end. Beautiful. I hope you're seeing the beauty of this. It's incredible. I love it. All right. So now in our catch exception here, well, things could happen. As you very well know, sometimes we may come empty-handed or some exception happens. So I'm going to say data exception. Well, I can append that exception to where? To what? Well, .e, look at this, expects an exception, right? Exception there. So what are we going to give it? Well, I'm going to just pass in the exception that we're receiving and done. And if we want, we can put a log D here just to, for us developers to know what is the message, what is the exception. I can say exception.e, and I can even go and say, give me a localized message like this. It looks like I need to probably, let's see, add a null. There we go, because it's nullable, could be null. Okay, I'm just gonna say XC like this for exception for the tag. All right, but remember that this get all questions, we are returning a data or exception. We're returning something. That's why we still have a squiggly red line here, because we need to return something. So here, all things considered, I'm going to return our data or exception object, which hopefully will either have all the information that we need or not. But either way, we know that we have set it up for success in the sense that we're going to have the actual data, the array list, if there is one. We're going to have the booleans loading or not. And if there's an exception, we're also going to have an exception attached to the wrapper. Ah, this is great. Okay, our question repository is now done. So next, what are we going to do? Well, next we're going to create a view model, because we need to construct this app in such a way we have some sort of a clean architecture. That way we have these pieces that are working together to create a better application. Most importantly, to make it more flexible for us to extend, add more to our app without breaking our application.